I wondered if you could tell us who you are and what you're doing, what you're about.
Okay, my name is Rashid Nix. I'm standing as the Green Councillor for Brixton in the upcoming local elections, May 22nd, 2014.
I was wondering if it was necessary to vote at all, because we've already got politicians, so why is it needed?
The current crop of political leadership that we have, the current crop of politicians, are so separate from the lives of your average person that the average person is no longer interested in the political process. However, politics still governs our lives at so many different levels.
Why green? Why specifically the colour green?
Why green? Well,
yeah.
Well, the name Green, the Green Party, was actually the Ecology Party. That was their name originally. And as the name implies, it was all about the ecology, like the ecosystem of the planet. You know?
Okay.
But there was a decision made, I believe, in the mid-1980s when a lot of these other political parties started to pick up on the fact that the population were concerned about the environment. So they started to portray themselves as being green parties. So the Conservatives and Labour were doing their bit. And the Ecology Party, they made a shift and they changed their name to the Green Party because they realised that the agenda that they were setting was going to be hijacked. So they said, okay, let's call it the Green Party from now on. Yeah.
As a Green candidate, how do you plan to win Brixton?
Okay, another good question. Well, first and foremost, because I come out of the Brixton community and the guys that are running with me are also proper guys off of the block, as we say, yeah? So people know us as individuals that do good work. I have a mentoring organisation. I do a lot of mentoring for a lot of the young guys. I know their parents. So they know, okay, well, this guy here is straightforward. He speaks his mind. He speaks the truth. He has a degree of integrity, which is something that, unfortunately, you don't find with many politicians of today. You have a community in Brixton where you have really high numbers of non-voters. Yeah, people are completely separated from the political process. And if you look at past results in Brixton, Cole Harbour, you're getting 4 out of 5 people not voting. As a man who lived in Cole Harbour Ward for many, many years and who walks on the streets of Cole Harbour Ward daily, I talk to regular people, you know, normal guys, and they want something new to happen. They're waiting for something to happen because they realise that the mainstream political game hasn't really benefited them in any way, shape, form or fashion. So my thing is to come with the community message of the Greens, as opposed to the really big stuff, because this is a local election, so let's keep it local to Brixton. Let's look at what's happening in Brixton.
Oh, I normally do vote Green Party anyway.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because the rest of them have never done anything, so I just choose someone that I've never heard of, and it's always the Green Party.
Is that right?
Brixton is a place where it's symptomatic of a lot of the problems that we're facing. There's a lot of investment coming in, a lot of money, millions of pounds in investment is coming in, a lot of building coming in, a lot of building work. But at the same time, the indigenous population of Brixton aren't benefiting from all this influx of money. There's still some of the poorest people in the UK living in Brixton. You still have some of the highest rates of sexually transmitted infections. You still have some of the highest rates of unemployment amongst young people. You still have the highest rates of gang crime. And at the same time, property prices have gone up maybe 20% in the past year. So some people are making money and some people are still catching hell. So it's a tale of two cities here. With us as the Greens, our ideas cut across race, class, ethnicity. We have one agenda, and our agenda is to do with one community.
Okay, so for example, behind us here we have what is called Miles Square Carney Place. This is a new development put together by Barrett's, I think. There's nothing in here for less than £500,000. So obviously this isn't housing for local people, and there was meant to be social housing on this spot, but there was no social housing in the end. They stepped back from it. Across the road, on the other hand, is Southwick House, aka the Barrier Block, which is social housing, but we understand that the local council are looking at ways of maybe getting rid of that social housing and building something new and something private and something quite exclusive. That's why it's important that local people get involved with local politics, because because they're local issues. So you vote green.
Why young people should vote for Green? Before I answer that question, young people should be aware of the political process. You go to a college, your college is run from the education department within your town hall, yeah? So you're affected by politics. When the police and the local councillors put an ASBO on gangs of youth or groups of young people hanging out, that's a political decision affecting young people. When they decide to close the youth centre at the end of your street, that's a decision come from the town hall. That's a political decision. So all these political decisions are affecting young people, but because you're not being taught to make the connection, you think, oh, politics doesn't concern me. I'm not interested in politics. No, politics does concern you. You are a result of a political process. You understand? That's the first thing. So be aware of how politics affects you as a young person. Then why would you, as a young person, support the Greens? The Greens have a long-term objective, which is to secure the health and well-being of this planet and its inhabitants. Whereas other parties just want to get elected next month or next year, and that's it, and they'll tell you anything. They just want to get into office. The Greens aren't really concerned with just getting into office. We're concerned with the type of world that our grandchildren's children will inherit. We have a long-term strategy, and I challenge any other party out there to have a long-term strategy. I don't think they do. I think they just want to get into office, do what they can, and then, you know, and we'll see what happens. So that's why young people should be involved, because we have a long-range objective. £13 billion a year is spent keeping people locked up. That is an outrageous waste of money. And in Brixton, the way the police you guys, you young guys, you know what I'm talking about. The amount of stop and searches that you get, and they're searching you for this and they're searching you for that, and there's still gang activity. We're looking at tackling that, and because of my background as a man who works in mentoring, who works in education, you know, you should meet some of my colleagues who also stand with me, and we're very, very youth focused, and we're very proactive on that.
What's happening?
Yeah, what's
What's happening? You alright? Ah, look, here's my friends here.
I noticed that you made a documentary recently about why black people don't vote. But in Brixton, there's a lot of black people living there. If I had to guess, I'd say it was over half, definitely. But why stand for election in Brixton if black people don't vote?
Okay, the reason why I made the documentary was just to really look at the mindset of what people were thinking. What you find is that there's a level of dissatisfaction amongst the people in Brixton that is reached it's so low or so high, depending on how you want to approach it, that people just don't care about who's in office. They don't care. They're like, whoever you vote for is irrelevant, because they're all hustlers. They don't represent us. They're not concerned with us. Why should we validate them with our votes? And I understand that. I fully understand that. It's only when I became more politically educated, when I went to university, that I realized that there's a whole process of people that were, you know, making sacrifices for us as people to have the right to vote. And once you understand that there's a whole process, then you realize you have a responsibility to vote. Nelson Mandela went to jail for 27 years so people could have the right to vote in South Africa. And here we are living in London, and we don't vote, but we pay tax. We live in council houses, but we don't elect the local councillors. We send our children to local schools, which is run by the local council, and we don't vote. We're not even on the Parent-Teacher Association. And you think, at what point do people get up and become responsible citizens and take an active role? So for us to stand, it just means that we're just trying to show and set an example. Say, listen, maybe we should be trying it this way. Maybe we should be trying something new.
I noticed you have the slogan, I am Brixton, on your t-shirt. I was just wondering what that's about.
Oh, you like this?
Yeah.
You like this? I am Brixton. I'll get you one, don't worry. Yeah, go your sweat top. I am Brixton, because Brixton is such a diverse place and so many people are claiming to be, you know, ownership of Brixton, which is a madness, because we can't own the land. The land can own us. You know, we come from the land, and when we're dead, we go back to the land. The land is still here. So this is Brixton, SW9, and so many people are trying to claim part of Brixton, different groups. So we said, okay, this is our slogan. I am Brixton. And this t-shirt is available for you, whether you're black, white, male, female, you know, whatever religion you are. You can be righteous or unrighteous, but you are still part of Brixton. I am Brixton is a campaign slogan for 2014. You can find us on www.bxg2014.com, and you can go there. And if you know anyone that wants to help us, because we need volunteers. We don't have big money. Yeah, one thing about the Greens, we ain't got the greens, you know, like the other boys. So we need volunteers. We need people to come out and help us. We got a load of flying that needs doing. We got to knock on people's doors, and we need volunteers. And if you feel genuinely committed to what we're about and you want to share in our vision, please get in contact via the website and sign up.
You see how much money I spent in this place here? You know how much money I spent with these guys here? Hello. They didn't give me no campaign money. They didn't even put my post up. Put the post up.
No, they put it man.
If not, I never come here again. From now I go to Sainsbury's. See, look. Look, you see? See there? Yeah? You see one there? See up there? Yeah. See up there? Yeah? This guy here give me good support. This guy here give me good support.
Yeah, nuts.
Yeah? And give me support. And this guy here give me trouble.
Yeah, man.
Assalamu alaikum.
Yeah, here.
You voted green, right? Yeah.